Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome in to the Tuesday Tea with me. This is part 2, and today we're going to talk about sharing your gifts because the world needs it right now. So I'm going to get my share on while you come in here. If you're watching this on Facebook, if you don't see that red live up there, make sure you drop down a hashtag replay. Let me know that you joined in here with us. Good morning. Welcome in. I had to get my share on to my business partners page and make sure they are glued in with us this morning on this terrific Tuesday with the Tuesday Tea with me. My name is Christy and I am a owner, CEO of Cuter Than Most Accessories, where we like to keep you fashionable for less. And I am doing a series that started off last week with Business Must Go On. And I got this idea from watching on Instagram, D Nice, this DJ who was spinning live on Instagram and got over, his Instagram likes went up to over 1 million. His watches was ridiculous. I was on there when he hit 50,000, and I was on there when he hit 100,000. It was crazy. And all he did is use his gifts. He was sharing his gift with the world, and it made a difference in a lot of people's lives. And they are actually looking forward to it now that he started a movement. And guess what? Other people have joined in to share their gifts. Other DJs are now sharing their gifts. And it's not competition because everybody has their own specific gifts, their own talents, and their own niche within the business of being a DJ. And so they are attracting their tribes into them. I was watching another one who was clearly from Georgia. And so he was playing hits for, he said 70s and 80s babies, which includes me. And it brought back memories of all the songs that I remember from college. And I was in the bed getting it with my husband. We were in there in the comforts of our bed at like 10 o'clock at night, bringing back old memories of songs. And so he had his niche market. He was shouting out Albany and Augusta and Columbus, Georgia. And so if any of you are from Georgia or have relative knowledge of the area, then you know those areas. And so people were coming in, people who lived in Atlanta, who lived in Florida, who had moved, but grew up in Georgia, knew the songs and the time, right? So I want to talk to you about sharing your gifts at a time like this and how this is very good for your business, no matter what you're selling or sharing or what services you offer, because this allows people, this is the key to attraction marketing. This allows people to get to know you, and people fall in love with who you are, and that is when they become customers of your brand. Okay, so the first thing to be able to do to share your gifts is, what are your gifts? Do you know what your gifts are? Do you know what you are naturally talented in that people definitely downplay of themselves because they think, oh, everybody can do this? And the fact and the reality is everybody can't do it. And your gifts that you may willingly share right now during this time will open your mind up to what people are willing to pay for. For example, I used to have a resume business, And it's not something I loved doing. It wasn't something I want to make a life out of, but I knew it could make me an extra $50 to $100 per pop, per resume, right? It was something that I could do. I was good at doing for myself, and I narrowed it off to a certain niche market, which was educators. So people in other industries would come to me, like in sales or lawyers or doctors, and I would share their information with someone else who was niche market was theirs, who wrote resumes for doctors or who wrote resumes for salespeople. But I was good at writing resumes for educators. One, that I was a part of, even before I was an administrator, I was a part of a team that would look at resumes and would filter resumes for interviews for education positions. So I knew what we were looking for. Like, we need to know if they were certified, what the degree was in, what their past experience was in. I knew what needed to be first. I knew all the other stuff that needed to be taken out and just the bullet points that needed to be there. And then I knew what to help them prepare for the interview, how to talk up their pieces that was in the resume. So I made money off of that. Now, is that my lifelong thing? But it's something that I could do in my sleep that other people couldn't do, so I could make money off of it. Same is true for the business that I'm in now. I'm an educator, so I know how to educate. So I can play up my strengths in this business of sharing accessories, and then I can learn or have other people outsource, have other people do the things that are my weaknesses. So first thing you need to know, if you want to share your gifts, you have to know what are your gifts. So how do you find out what your gifts are? Here's a perfect time when you are sitting at home looking for things to do, you're bored out your mind. Take a personality test. That is number one. Somebody want to drop that below? Number one is take a personality test. What is it that you are naturally good at? All right, I know, like, I watch movies with people sometimes or TV shows, and I can predict what's going to happen. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so predictable. Like, I know what's going to happen at the end, and I can tell you what's going to happen at the end. And I'm watching movies with other people who are clueless, and I'm looking at them like, how did you not figure it out? That's like what movies do. Like, they show this part, they throw in, thank you very much, Kelly. They throw in a love story to attract in a certain demographics, and then they can do this next, and then it's predictable what's going to happen next, right? And so that is actually a skill that I have that other people don't have. You know, somebody's willing to pay for that. If I wanted to hone in on that ability, there's probably producers out there who want people like me, or writers who want people, who pay people currently right now to sit and watch their stuff and see, is it too predictable? Can you figure out what's happening? Oh, you can figure that out? Then I probably need to adjust some things. I don't want the majority of people to watch this and be able to figure that out in the beginning. Got it? Another thing you need to do is, what makes your story? What makes up your story? You need to know, to be able to share your gifts, you need to know what makes up your story. So write it down. Journaling is an amazing thing to do in these situations, this current situation that you're in. Your lifestyle has probably changed, whether you want it to or not. And some people are still working, but there's places you can't go. There's people you can't hang out with. For example, there are some people right now who can't wait to get a Zoom party together with their girlfriends. Now me, I haven't done that yet. It's not been on my top list. I'm totally fine with this current situation, right? But some people are not currently fine with the situation. That is your story. Write down right now and journal what is going on and how are you feeling. You'll look back on that journal and you'll be able to see what your gift is. How did you deal with it? How have you helped other people deal with it? There are some people right now who are reaching out to others, and they are compelled in their heart to help other people right now, and in the ways in which they help people. Right now, I've noticed a common theme among some people who want to downplay or put other people, or are very judgmental. That's the word I keep saying. They're being very judgmental right now because people are different from them. And they feel in their minds that everybody should be doing it this way. Or they feel in their minds that nobody should be headed to Home Depot right now because that's not essential. Or nobody should be headed to Lowe's or Walmart, and the things that they're buying in their cart is not essential. But if those people took different personality tests, they'll realize that right now, that based on their personality, the thing that they're doing and buying is essential for them. So journaling is very important right now. Please, I beg of you to start a journal and write down how you're feeling, things you're doing, things you choose to do over other things. That helps you learn your story and who you are. Number 3, what do you spend the most money on? you need something to do right now to help you be able to share your gifts, and you don't know what your gifts are, what makes you different from somebody else, what helps you stand out, what will help you create your brand for whatever business you are currently in, look at where you spend your money. People are preparing for taxes, or you've already prepared for taxes, and things you think about when you prepare for taxes are a little different than looking at what necessarily you spend your money on. But go back and look at all of 2019. And if you have certain bank accounts or certain credit cards, they'll break down what you spend your money on. What you spend your money on shows you what you value. And what you value pretty much shows you what your innate ability, likes, and loves are. Even if your budget is very small, even if you're tight on money, there are people who are tight on money. 5 people have the same amount of money they bring in, have the same home demographics, meaning they both have 2 teenagers, they both have a husband, they both have themselves that are both that are college educated, they both live in a 3-bedroom house, 2-bath, 2-car garage, right? Same exact demographics, but if you look at how they choose to spend their money, and let's say their household income total is $50,000 total for their family of 4 and it's 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. But if you look at how they choose to spend their money, there's going to be 5 different ways. This is going to tell you what you value. What you value will help you understand who you are, which will probably align with that personality test you take, which will help you decide what gifts you need to share. It may also help you determine like, this is probably an area I need to work on because I value this too much, which is having an impact on my life as a whole, as my business as a whole, as my family as a whole. So you have time right now, you're bored. I don't know about you, but I'm so tired of watching Netflix. I've never been a TV person anyway. I've always been a go, go, go. I fill my schedule up with things. And right now, I can't fill my schedule up with stuff. And I'm over television. Like, I literally have time to watch it, and I just don't want to. And so this is the time where you can, instead of being bored, oh, that word drives me crazy. Does it drive anybody else crazy? Does the word bored drive anybody else crazy? Drives me crazy. Well, if you're sitting in that situation right now, because sometimes boredom is just, you don't realize where to place your time, all right? This is a great place to great way to place your time. When you're trying to figure out what your gifts are to share with the world, because the world needs your gifts right now, one, which somebody's already put out there, is take a personality test. 2, what makes your story? And then 3, what do you spend your most money on? It really points to what you value. Number 4, ask some friends. Ask some friends, what are your weaknesses and what are your strengths? Like, I know for sure I'm not in doubt, or I wouldn't be surprised at some of the things my friends are going to say. But it has been surprising to me when they say that I'm very caring, because I'm really hard on myself. And I think the way that I show that I care is so different from the way other people show that they care, which goes back to personality tests. And I took the Myers-Briggs test and found out there's only a small percentage of people whose tests turn out like mine, then it makes perfect sense why a lot of people are not going to understand or relate to how my mind works. There's only a few people out there whose mind works or thinks or operates the way that I do. Once you realize that about yourself, or you might find that you can relate to everybody. You might take a personality test and realize that 75% of the people fall in the same personality as you do, which is why you get along or can relate and everybody understands your thought process. See, when I took the Myers-Briggs test long time ago, and it's okay to take it again, I probably should take it again to see how it's changed. I'm older, I have different values, or values probably changed, but the way in which I separate my energy into different things has changed, where I categorize things. Friends fall a little bit lower than they used to. Family is more important than it used to be, and what family as opposed to the wider unit of family isn't as important as my home family that lives with me every day. They get what's most of my time, thoughts, and energy. So ask your friends. They will give you, but then also take in mind when you're asking your friends that their viewpoint of who you are and what your strengths and what your weaknesses are will come from their lens, which is also taking into consideration their personality as well. But you should find an underlying theme amongst your friends and your family when you ask them what they think your strengths and your weaknesses are. Then the next thing is, what have you been thanked for? And that's number 5, it's the last one. What have you been thanked for? What do people thank you for? For example, as a leader, I get people in my inbox from my downline, from my team, from my business partners who will thank me for certain things, right? Now, what I'm thanked for in my inbox as a leader is different from what some of my fellow leaders are thanked for, all right? That points out a strength within us. Like, some people will thank them for being so kind and taking the time to spend with them, for going above and beyond. See, those aren't the things that I'm going to be thanked for. Those aren't the things that people come in my inbox for. But you know what the people do come in my inbox for? They're thanking me for being straightforward, for giving them exactly what they needed, even when they didn't want to hear it. They thank me for pushing them outside their comfort zone because it has helped them reach. See, I'm not going to get thanked for spending a lot of time rubbing your ego and being so patient with you. That's not my personality, and I'm okay with that. But I use my strengths in my business. I don't spend a lot of time crying over or wondering why I'm not that way. You know what I will do? The leader who is getting praises in their inbox, people who are thanking them for being so patient, for spending so much time and helping them along, for not giving up on them. Those leaders who get those messages, I have them come into my group and talk to my business partners, because there is a corner of my group or business partners who needs that. And that's not my strength, so I probably won't ever provide that to them. But I am not in denial that some people need that. So I get someone who that is their strength to come in and share their strengths with my team. So what do people thank you for? Thank you so much for sharing this on my page. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Thank you at a time like this for doing this. What are they thanking you for? That, my dear, is your strength, because it's probably 9 times out of 10 what you're doing without even thinking about it. So take the time to do those 5 things. We are at a time where you need to share your gifts. I promise you, no matter what business you're in, it is providing a service or providing a product, sharing your gifts will grow you, your business, and the people around you. But to be able to share your gifts, you have to know what they are. So 1, take a personality test. Try 4 or 5 of them. There's lots of free ones. They'll send them to your inbox. You save them there. If you have a mate at home and you guys right now are bumping heads because you've never spent this much time together under one roof, take a personality test. Get to know who they are. Your business partners who you're working with right now, who before you may not have had to work together. You might probably had separate things, but now being required to work from home sometimes changes your responsibilities. People are being let go at your job and you aren't. And sometimes that requires you to take on more responsibilities. All right. If you are now working with a group of people that you don't normally work with, have them take a personality test. Get to know who they are. 2 is what makes your story. Find out what makes up your story. Great way to do this is journaling. Journaling right now will pay off in the long run. This is a time that no one has ever experienced before. 3, what do you spend the most money on? Check those accounts. What you spend your most money on is what you value. Especially check out those Amazon orders. If you go look at your Amazon orders for the last year, that'll probably tell you a lot about what you value, because of all the things you can purchase from Amazon, what are you buying? Number 4, ask your friends. What do your friends think are your strengths and your weaknesses? And the last one, what have you been thanked for? What you've been thanked for is probably a strength for you. So that is all. Thank you so much for joining me in here. I haven't drunk any of this tea, so I definitely have to get up here and drink this tea. Today it is mixed green tea with lemon and ginger tea, because I'm working on my immune system, baby. So thank you so much again for joining me in here for this Tuesday tea. Last week, please go back and check it out. It was talking about business must go on, and I share with you where my inspiration for this 3-part series came from. Today is about sharing your gifts, and next Tuesday, on Next Tuesday Tea, which is the 3rd and final part of this series, is be authentically you. And if you do these 5 things that I've listed here today, you'll come into next week's Tuesday Tea knowing how to be authentically you, because you'll have a better idea of who you are. Be blessed. Have a great week ahead. It's only Tuesday, so no matter how it's turned out, you still have time to turn it around. And it's 9 a.m., so no matter what side of the bed you woke up on, you, nobody else, still has time to turn it around. Be blessed and see you back here next Tuesday.